So, who really is Nurullo Aliev, the man once called the new Khabib? It all begins in Dushanbe, Tajikistan. In this country, judo, wrestling and combat sports are part of the culture, and that's where Nurullo forged himself from a very young age. Very quickly, he developed a style built on constant pressure, relentless wrestling and top control. A simple style, but brutally effective, and one that would mark all of his early opponents. He turned pro in 2018 and made his first fights in some local Russian leagues. His first test was against Ramazan Amirov, a Russian fighter who was 4-1 in this time. Nurullo immediately showed his identity. He stuck to his opponent, completely neutralized him, and wore him down round after round. The result? A clear decision victory. These early victories brought him to bigger stages like AMC, where he had to fight Vladislav Grebnev. Same story. Nurullo smothered him with pressure, controlled him the whole way, and walked away with another decision win. Then in 2019, Eagle FC, the Khabib's promotion, invited Nurullo to fight on their card for the memory of Abdulmanap Nurmagomedov. He faced Dmitry Krykov. This was a real test because Krykov pushed back more, tried to hurt him on the feet, but Nurullo didn't flinch. Pressure, takedowns, domination. When the fight ended, there was no doubt another win for the young Tajik. 6 fights, 6 wins, and already a reputation as a nightmare to fight. That's where his nickname, the Tajik Eagle, really took off. The comparisons with Khabib became stronger and stronger. In 2022, Dana White spotted him and invited him to Dana White's Contender series. And Nurullo knew this was his chance, a convincing win, and the UFC door would open. His opponent, Josh Wick, was a dangerous striker, but from the opening bell, Nurullo gave him no space. He closed the distance, dragged him to the ground, and unleashed brutal ground and pound. The ref stopped it in the first round. TKO. This wasn't just a win, it was a statement. You could see his grappling was on another level. Dana White didn't hesitate for a second.
Nurullo absolutely handled business, and if you're going to ground and pound, that's the way to do it. Yeah, congratulations, kid. You're in the UFC.
Nurullo Aliev, congratulations.
All right.
Contract signed. History made. Nurullo Aliev became the very first fighter from Tajikistan to join the UFC. A few months later, he finally made his official UFC debut in February 2023 at UFC, Vegas 70 against Rafael Alves, and this was no easy test. Alves is explosive, powerful, and dangerous on the feet. The fight started intense. Alves threw bombs looking to knock him out early. But Nurullo stayed calm, stuck to his plan, and turned it into a grappling battle. He clinched against the cage, scored takedowns, and wore Alves out. Round after round, he drained the Brazilian's energy. By the end, he earned a majority decision victory. It wasn't a flashy knockout or a slick submission, but it showed he could deal with danger and still impose his style in the UFC. That's huge. But this is where the problems began. After that first win, Nurullo disappeared. The issue with him is simple. He doesn't fight often, sometimes only once a year, and that kills the hype. He even got a proposition to fight Benoit Saint-Denis a few weeks after Ramadan, but Nurullo had to refuse because he hasn't trained in the month of Ramadan, and said he was ready to fight against Benoit in June, but Benoit tough. Nurullo refused to fight him, so they didn't make the fight. In November 2023, he was scheduled to face Mateusz Rebecki, but a serious leg injury forced him out. And it wasn't just a short break. That injury sidelined him for almost 2 years. An enormous absence, at the very moment he could have used his hype to climb the rankings. While he was gone, other prospects exploded onto the scene. Some people even started to wonder if he'd ever come back. And it didn't stop there. In January 2025, he was supposed to return against Yanal Ashmuz, but that fight got scrapped too, this time because Ashmuz injured himself. But the UFC managed to find another fighter to replace Ashmuz. So after almost 2 years away, Nurullo returned in January 2025 against Joe Selecki. And this was a real mental test. When you're gone for that long, you need to prove you still belong, and he did exactly that. From the start, he pressured, scored takedowns, and controlled from the top. Selecki tried to fight back with submission attempts, but Nurullo stayed on top, dominant the whole way. It wasn't a highlight reel finish, but it was a clear, unanimous decision win. More importantly, it was proof that even after such a long absence, he was still undefeated and still dangerous. Today the situation is clear. Nurullo Aliev has the talent, the mentality, and the grappling to go far. But his biggest problem is inactivity and the injuries. He fights rarely, sometimes just once a year, and those long absences, especially that 2-year layoff due to injury, have slowed down his rise. In a division as stacked as lightweight, where killers are constantly making noise, being inactive can be deadly for your career. And now Nurullo finally has his next test lined up, a fight against Shem Rock in Qatar in November 22. Shem isn't just another name. He's a dangerous, aggressive grappler from Liverpool who built his reputation in Europe in the organization Octagon, finishing fights and fighting with a chip on his shoulder. He's hungry to make a statement in his UFC debut, and beating an undefeated prospect like Aliev would skyrocket his name overnight. For Nurullo, this is the moment to prove he's still the Tajik Eagle, still elite, and ready to climb again. No excuses, no breaks, just a must-win fight to reclaim his momentum. The big question now is this: can Nurullo stay active, stack up wins and climb into the rankings? Or will injuries and long layoffs keep him from ever reaching his full potential? One thing's for sure, every fight he takes from now on will be crucial. And the whole MMA world is watching to see if the new Khabib can really live up to the name. Alright guys, that's gonna do it for today. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to drop a like, hit that subscribe button, and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next breakdown. Let me know in the comments, do you think Nurullo Aliev makes a big comeback against Shem Rock, or is this where things get tough for him? Thanks for watching. I appreciate all the support, and I'll catch you in the next one.